Okay, so we're going to look at the absolute value equations quiz. Um, select the solutions to the following absolute value equation. Absolute value of x is equal to 9. Now, this is a very simple one, but it's going to be something we'll probably refer back to quite a bit. Anytime you have an absolute value, you're going to take that equation, you're going to split it up. That means if the absolute value of x is 9, that means there's two questions really. It means x could be negative 9, because negative 9 is 9 units away from 0, or x could be equal to positive 9. It's equal to either one of those. Which one, we're not real sure, so that's why we say x is either 9 or it's negative 9. Okay, now, so just keep in mind, remember what we did. We took this thing and we split it out two different ways. So what we're going to do then is we have the negative one and the positive one. We're going to do that again here. So if you've got the absolute value of what we're looking at here, x minus 5 equals 20. All right, so what that means is your two equations that we're going to look at solving are x minus 5 is equal to 20, or x minus 5 is equal to negative 20. Now, we don't have to solve those, not yet at least. All right, so all we're doing is saying it's one of those two equations, and that's all they're really looking for. So is that this one? I believe it is. So what you're doing, you take that thing that's on the other side from the absolute value sign, and you keep it, and you also make it a negative. All right, now we're going to actually solve one of these. Select the solutions to the following absolute value equation. So absolute value of x is x over 7 is equal to 20. That means x over 7 equals 20, but it also means x over 7 could equal negative 20. So we've got to solve these. Okay, so we've got our two equations set up. Then we're going to solve it like we have been. All right, this is x divided by 7. So we want to do the opposite. We want to multiply by 7. So I'm going to multiply that by 7, multiply that by 7. So x here is equal to 140 after doing the 20 times the 7. Multiply that by 7, that by 7, cancel. Here it's equal to negative 140. Just like that. Okay. Select the solutions to the following absolute value equation. So what you see is a lot of times with these absolute value, you're going to have two answers. I'm going to show you another way to look at this too. Okay. Let's come over here to Desmos and keep an eye on that so I can see that. All right. So we've got the absolute value of 7x minus 21 is equal to 35. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. Let me explain something here. We're going to throw a y equals. We're going to make this into a graph. And down here, we're going to say y equals 35. So what I did, I just took both sides of the equal sign and said y equals the one side, and then y equals the other side. We're going to do this quite a bit. Now, see, it made this graph over here. What you're looking for is, we're going to zoom out, keep zooming, and we're looking for these spots where they intersect. So they're hitting right here at 8. We want that 8. I'm only interested in the x value, not the y value. Oops. And then this one, negative 2. So it's a negative 2, and I covered it up, but it's the 8. The negative 2 and the 8, because that's where they're crossing each other. So, excuse me, the negative 2 or the 8, like that. So just another way to look at that. Let's try another one. What are the two solutions to the equation? Absolute value of x. Okay, so we're going to say y equals, important to throw that y equals in there because that makes it a graph. Y equals that, and y equals 8 minus 3x. Okay, now you see this one they only cross each other in that one spot right there. 2. So you got that x value of 2. So that means the only valid solution is x equals 2. And then there's this thing called an extraneous solution. We're going to look at that come up here in a second. So let's select this one, and I'll show you what an extraneous solution is. So since it crosses at 2 over there, that is the only valid solution. Oh, okay, before we get to the extraneous, let's take a look at this one real quick. Which of the following has no solution? Remember, absolute values are always going to be a positive. So like here, this is possible, and this is possible, okay? But they want to know which ones have no solution. That's going to be here and here, because the absolute value of a number can't be a negative. So the fact that it's a -9 or a -7, that makes it impossible. Oh, going back here to look at the equations. Remember, this side stays the same, 2x minus 3, but then you've got to change the signs here. So you want 2x minus 3 equals x plus 6, and then 2x minus 3 equals, now this is the one, because what happens is that positive x right here, notice they changed it to a negative. And the positive 6 here, they changed that to a negative. So you always got to change those signs for your second equation. Okay. Let's take a look at this one because I want to show you what an extraneous solution is. This will be the last one for this video. Let's see. Y equals absolute value 3x plus 2, and then y equals 4x plus 1. Okay, so let's zoom in on this a little bit. You see, this is only hitting in one spot, so it crosses at that 1 right there. All right. Let me make sure I type this in right. Absolute value 3x plus 2. Oh, helps if I do it right. 4x plus 12. Sorry. Okay. So right there, there's your one solution, because you see where the red and the blue hit each other. So you have a valid solution at x equals -2. So then you have this thing called an extraneous solution. That means it's a solution that's not true. Okay. Now, -2 is not extraneous. -2 is the valid solution. But any of these other ones might be extraneous. Let's just take a stab at something. Let's start here with this one, x equals 10. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug 10 into this equation here. Actually, let's do it like this. So we're going to say absolute value of 3. Now instead of x, we're going to plug in a 10. 3 times 10. Oops, why is it doing that? Okay, 3 times 10 plus 2, all right, equals 32. Now we've got to take that other side. We're going to say 4 times 10 plus 12. Okay, so notice you got 32 and you've got a 52. You need these two numbers to, let's try this a little bit of a different way. I apologize. We got rid of that. Let's do it like this. Let's take this left-hand side, and rather than putting the absolute value on there, let's just say y equals 3x plus 2, and then y equals 4x plus 12. All right, now, the reason I want to do that is I want to back up, and I want to see, okay, these two things, they intersect at that -10. So that kind of tells you -10 is a solution. But if you remember, when we put these absolute value bars on there, they did not intersect at -10. All right, so what that means is then that -10 is the extraneous solution, since that doesn't really intersect when it becomes an absolute value. Okay, good luck.